Health is at the very center of living abundantly. John Wesley was well ahead of his time theologically by recognizing and linking health and healing in his teachings. Health affects the whole connection: family, congregation, community, and the wider church itself. Improving the health of clergy is essential to maintaining the strength, vitality, and reach of the church's mission and ministry.
The work of the Church Systems Task Force is very important to our entire denomination because it focuses on the health of the leaders of the denomination in every local church across the connection. We noticed some years ago that clergy seemed to be having some health issues, not only physical but emotional, spiritual, some kind of malaise, just because of the nature of the work of clergy.
General Conference 2008 charged the General Board of Pension and Health Benefits and the General Board of Higher Education and Ministry to jointly convene a task force. This task force was asked to look at the church systems and structures that may negatively impact clergy health and develop recommendations for submission to General Conference 2012.
The Church Systems Task Force, commissioned by the 2008 General Conference, has engaged this great desire of our church to support clergy and clergy families so that our congregations will be led by vibrant, healthy clergy who live well into God's gift of abundant life.
The 21-member task force, chaired by Bishop Ward, examined 4 critical areas: itineracy and the appointment-making systems, supervisory systems, processes for entering and exiting ordained and licensed ministry, and work-life balance. The work of the task force was firmly rooted in multifaceted research. Under the guidance of the General Board of Pension and Health Benefits Center for Health, existing data and literature were collected and analyzed. A survey of more than 1,000 clergy was conducted, and telephone interviews and focus groups were held.
Our Church Systems Task Force had as its mandate and as its focus to really work at identifying those systems and practices that will allow us to have those most effective clergy who in turn can create and help to grow and sustain our effective churches.
The task force recommendations are directed in 5 areas. Recommendation 1, entering ministry.
This is a vitally important recommendation because it has to do with making sure that people who feel called to ministry, first of all, understand what it is they're going to, and second of all, that they get the kind of attention and care they need, both in the ordination process, but also in their time in seminary, to develop healthy habits.
Recommendation 2, guidelines for work-life balance.
The legislation for healthy work-life balance is critical to the life of the clergy. Clergy are very busy with many commitments in their typical workday, and as they perform their jobs, it's important for them to have some boundary commitments, realize that their own personal health is critical and they need time for that, time for their family, and also time to do their job.
It is important for staff-parish relationship to work on the health and have that connection, is because they're the people who work with the pastor. And one of the things we hope out of Parish Relationship Committee is that they develop a good relationship of trust.
Recommendation 3, itineracy and appointment making.
I think the task force affirmed what we knew all along, and that is that longer appointments often make for more effective ministry. It's come forth in some of the studies that have been done recently, and we're recommending in our task force report that longer appointments be the norm as opposed to something out of the ordinary.
Recommendation 4, supervisory systems.
We know that supervisory systems do have an impact on clergy leaders, and we have sought to craft carefully legislation that will help us call for a healthier form of supervision, and in that sense of healthier supervision, to allow our clergy leaders to exercise their ministry in increasingly healthy ways.
Recommendation 5, exiting ordained ministry.
This legislation will help those type of individuals to indeed have a way to find where God might be calling them right now, and to be able to step away in an honorable way so that they can make way for somebody for whom that call is fresh, as they're finding what the call in their life might be at this given time.
The Church Systems Task Force recommendations reflect connectional relationships underpinned with transparency in a community of trust. These are important aspects of nurturing and sustaining clergy health, and by extension, the health of the denomination.
I think the Church System Task Force has done an excellent work naming the current reality and also coming up with practical solutions for the future of our denomination.
One of the most significant benefits to come out of the Church Systems Task Force work is a very holistic understanding of health and wellness, not only on the part of clergy, but on the part of their spouses, their children, their families, and the laity at large.
Healthier pastors will help make more effective leaders, and our congregations need more now than ever effective leaders in reaching more people, younger people, and more diverse people.
The work that we have done will be a significant milestone as we look together toward the future for building strong and healthy clergy, strong and healthy clergy families, and through them, strong and healthy congregations.
Clergy that are healthy, able to really live out the calling that God has called them to, can give better the kind of leadership that congregations need to be effective in making disciples for Jesus Christ that can transform the world.
We dream and we pray that this work will be received and embraced and used, that clergy will be well mentored throughout their careers, that clergy families will be supported, and that together we will live in vibrant and healthy ways toward the future that God is giving.